Hello ladies, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a bit of a different view. We're doing something a little bit different today. I'm gonna go through the answers to the name reveal clues from last time, so this is your last chance. If you don't want total and complete spoilers of those clues, you can go back and watch them. I'll put them in the description below for you to go check out if you want to, but I know some of you are dying to know the answers to these. I do apologize, evidently they were hard. It's hard to judge when it's like just knowledge you're pulling from your own bag, but hopefully these clues make sense now, and hopefully you had fun playing along regardless. Clue number one. 1A was, I think it'd be Goofy if we name them Pence, and I think it'd be heartless to name them Aqua, and I would be taking the Mickey out of you if I said we'd name them Aqua. Now, there's a few key hints in this. The first are the names at the end. These three names all belong to a single video game franchise, Kingdom Hearts. And sorry for my writing, as I normally write in cursive, and so my print is perpetually stuck at this 3rd grade level. Anyway, the other things that would have led you to Kingdom Hearts in that are Goofy and Mickey, as Kingdom Hearts is a crossover between the characters that were created for that franchise, as well as classic Disney characters like Goofy and Mickey. And finally, I use the word heartless because that is the name of one of the enemies, the primary enemies in that game. All of that should have led you to Kingdom Hearts. Clue 1B. Oh my, these are good years. 1994, 2000, and 1967, with a huge emphasis on 1994. If you're a big Disney fan, you might have recognized that 1994 is the year The Lion King was released. And 2000 was the year the Tigger movie was released, and 1967 was the year that The Jungle Book was released, respectively starring lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. See what I did there? But 1994 was the big hint of that one, which gives you Lion King. And finally, clue 1C was, today I caught a Horsey, a Krabby, a Nidoran, a Goldeen, a Slowcat, and a Slowpoke. These are all Pokemon, obviously. And if you know your Pokemon, you know that these all evolve into forms that have the word King in their name. Like Seaking and Sloth King and Kingler and Nidoking. They all have King in their name. And so King was the clue you were supposed to get from that. And of course, if you look at all of these, you will see King, King, King repeated 3 times, giving you your self-check that King is the answer for clue number 1. All right, moving on to clue number 2. Clue 2A was, I have a to-do list. Visit Dory Below the Castle, buy 8 coins red, try out for becoming a metalhead, buy a gas mask and a map, review the emergency exit procedures, and avoid falling rocks. And a lot of you made the Mario connection because of, I assume, the 8 red coins, which is traditionally in Mario 64, one of the stars for every land in that game. To get a star, you gotta collect the 8 red coins. What tripped people up was going a little bit further and seeing that, in fact, in every single line of this, I was referencing a specific star from a specific Mario level, the Hazy Maze. So like I said, each of these lines references one of the stars in that level, and any of the special capitals that I have means that I pulled the words directly from the star titles in those levels. A clue that was a little more straightforward was 2B. It was just southwest of Wildcat territory. The tricky bit of this is knowing which Wildcats I'm talking about, but if you've been around a while, you know that I am located in Kansas City, so you could have made an educated guess that I went to K-State, at least for part of my college, and I was talking about the K-State Wildcats. And southwest of Wildcat territory, if you follow that highway down, is Hays, Kansas, which, again, Hays, there we go, and Hays, which Hays is Kingsley's middle name. So that one was a little bit more straightforward if you got the answer, meaning there wasn't a big jump to be made. Obviously, we're not quite there yet with getting Kingsley from the clues we have so far. Doing 3A, the release year of 5,000 Candles in the Wind was of course a reference to Parks and Rec and the wonderful Andy Dwyer, who released that hit in 2011. The Final Acreage of Schrute Farms is of course an Office reference to Dwight Schrute, who owns a beet farm, and after his inheritance, it is 1,660 acres. And I've been watching way too much Survivor. Don't judge me, it's pandemic times. I've been through a lot of content. Now I'm watching Survivor, and it does in fact take you 39 days to win the game of Survivor. And of course, Evangeline's age when this baby is born is 1 year old. She'll be about 2 months shy of turning 2. So for a few months there, I'm gonna have 2 under 2. It's gonna be fun. And that got you 8 to give you Kingsley's length of Kingsley. Number 3 required a lot of random knowledge, so I don't blame you if you didn't get it, but a lot of it was also Googleable if you got where I was coming from. So for the first one, I'm not gonna read it all again, I'm just gonna give you the answers here. A was the year Claire Randall meets her future husband. So this is a reference to the Outlander series, and her future husband was in quotes because she actually goes back to the past to meet her husband. And that was in 1743. B, the number of new gods, is a reference to Game of Thrones, where they swear by the old gods and the new, which is the 7 new gods. C equals the number of fragments of Voldemort's soul, which is 8. I'm sure some of you got tripped up and said 7, but 7 is the number of Horcruxes, and originally Voldemort only wanted his soul in 7 fragments because that's a powerful number in the Wizarding world, but instead accidentally put an 8th piece into Harry, making the answer 8. D, the number of Eddard Stark's biological children is 5 because of course Jon Snow isn't a Stark. I won't spoiler that in case you haven't watched the end of Game of Thrones to figure out exactly what Jon Snow's heritage is, but not a Stark. So he has 5 biological kids. And then let's see, the runtime of the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy, which was kindly calculated on the internet for me, was 682 minutes without credits. And finally, the date of my first video, which I highly recommend you don't go watch, was March 24th. And that got you 5. I think after all that, that got you 5. So that you could figure out the length of Hayes. Clue number 4 was just me humming very poorly, as someone pointed out. I don't have a musical bone in my body. I have tried. I learned like 1 song on guitar to like spite music and say, look, I can do it. And then I have never touched music since. It just does not click in my brain. But it was the main theme song to Harry Potter. And if you combined the clue of Harry Potter with day 1 clue, which you should have done after day 5, which when I told you that they were related, then you could look down the list of characters in Harry Potter, use that keyword of king, and find Kingsley Shacklebolt, who was, of course, a double agent and helped spy on the Ministry. But Kingsley was, of course, the first name. And then you could have double-checked your answer again with your math clue and clue number 2 to get Hayes. That was it. That was a very complex name reveal. I do apologize. My next contest will be way easier and just involve guessing the due date, I promise. So don't unsubscribe because this was hard. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, the husband warned me. Should have listened to him. But I hope you had fun playing around. Anyway, I sure had fun creating it. And congratulations again to Rebecca for winning the $100 to a place of her choosing. And I will see you next Monday for my 21 week update. Until next time, ladies, keep on fighting. Mwah!